Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to It's Still Real to Me. I'm your host, John Kucher, aka Jonny Fashion, back from Florida on vacation last week. Harmon, what's going on, my man?
Thanks for leaving me high and dry, asshole.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean, we had a podcast.
It's
I don't know
true.
if I'm not so sure if it's a successful podcast because it hasn't been posted. I'm not sure if anybody wanted to dive into the editing on it because it was ridiculous long.
Yeah. I heard it. I listened a little
bit. It
bit.
been called ISR2M Takeover. It got out of hand.
Yeah. It sounded like it did get out of hand. I listened to a little bit of it, and then and then it never got posted. So maybe we'll keep that in the vault. Maybe a little hidden gem down the road somewhere. Maybe we'll release it to a special subscriber or something. I don't know. if they have 2.5 hours of their life that they want to just sit down and listen to a crazy podcast.
There are pieces that can be cut out, I think, and put out on their own. Like Steven did a New Japan rundown. That could be cut and just distributed on its own, I guess. So
totally. Yeah,
there may be some salvageable pieces from it, but I'd have to say that my first foray into running the podcast for a week did not go well.
Oh, it's all right. You're good. Man. So I'm back. We've got a good show tonight. We've got let's see, what are we doing tonight? Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about where I went down to Hogan's Beach Shop. We're gonna touch on some recent news, some Roman Reigns stuff, NXT call-ups, potential call-ups, some guys that we think should be called up with the brand split. Rumor has it there's
rumors.
Rumors. Rumor has it there's like 12 call-ups. So we're gonna see who
That's
we can. It is a lot. We'll see what we can figure out on that. See who we can find to come up to the main roster, make some kind of impact, and then we're going to discuss a little Raw highlights from this past Monday. Sound good to you, my man?
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Let's get into it. So first things first, I am back. I went to Florida, went to Sarasota, Florida, and just north of Sarasota, about an hour north, is Clearwater Beach, where Hulk Hogan, the immortal Hulk Hogan, has a beach shop where, he sells apparel and autographed stuff. So, I went in. I went there last year too, so went in there second year in a row.
Was the staff helpful?
The staff, at first, not so much. But then it was funny. It was like a staff change, like while I was there, because it felt like my wife and I were there forever, and we were just gazing, we're just looking around at all the cool stuff, just cool merch, his own designs, some WWE stuff. It's not all Hulk Hogan. There's all kinds of other stuff there too. There's figures. There's like John Cena merch. There's all kinds of stuff that that he's allowed to sell. So it's pretty cool. It's a small joint, but it's got a lot of cool stuff in there. Old-timey belts. The winged eagle belt is there.
Nice.
Yeah, autographed. He's got all kinds of autographed figures and old stuff. So I took some footage and put it on my my unbagging video. That's currently on my YouTube and on smartandmark.com. So so we did that. And then the second half of when we were there, the shift change. A guy came in. His name was Anthony. He was very helpful, super helpful. Big shout out to Anthony. He let me hold a replica championship belt, and I got to go outside next to the Hogan statue and cut a promo, which I used for my unboxing video. So it was just cool, man. It was really cool. Some of the stuff in there is out of this world, just back from legit like 1982 stuff. it's wild. It's so wild. If anybody's ever down in Clearwater, you got to check it out because it's a really fun time. And there's always the roll of the dice that Hulkster's going to be there. We have gotten shut out 2 years in a row, but we saw like on Facebook that he was there like the next day, and so that was a big bummer. And then the same thing happened to us last year too. My buddy Jesse Wall was down there at the same time, and we kind of didn't know it until I started posting some pictures on Facebook, and he messaged me. He was like, "What? You're down here too? Meet me at Hogan's tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, we're flying back tomorrow." And then I land in Portland, Maine, and I get a video from him and Hulk Hogan like cutting a promo for his gym. So it's a little unnerving to keep missing the Hulkster, but I don't know. I think I would poop my pants if I met him. So I don't know. Oh, and then right upstairs is Bushwhacker Luke's gym. So it's right above
nice.
We walked up there and kind of looked in from outside. Our buddy Anthony from Hogan's Beach Shop said, "Yeah, go on up. You can go in and take a look around and take pictures and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, people do that all the time." And then I went up and I just couldn't do it. I got so weirded out because I don't know. There's people in there just trying to work out. I don't want to be like that weird wrestling guy. Dave Dyer and I have a really funny story about that we'll tell at some point on this podcast. We should do a podcast where we all just sit there and tell stories because we've got some awesome wrestling stories. But
awkward wrestling stories.
Oh, so many awkward ones. So yeah, it was awkward. We just like looked into the gym and I was like gonna go in and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And we walked downstairs and left. But it's cool. It's a great little spot. If you're ever down there, check it out. All right. Recent news: Roman Reigns still suspended. Just so you know.
Yes.
So now the debate is, when did WWE know of his violating the wellness policy? Because I don't know, man. It seems a little fishy. The timing of everything seems a little fishy. You know what I'm saying?
It seems completely like they knew before Money in the Bank, so that all that could go down. I mean, because I really wasn't expecting for Roman to lose and somebody to cash in on the winner in the same night. That was a lot. I mean, it was cool, but the chances of them thinking of that on their own, pretty slim.
Yeah, and especially because the Money in the Bank briefcase is like such a commodity. It's such like a cool prop, and like you can do a lot. You can do a lot with it.
Maybe last year soured him on it a little bit because Sheamus had it, and it was probably one of the weakest Money in the Bank runs.
Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he ended up cashing in to be champion, but it was weak all the way around.
Yeah, like he had feuds with like Randy Orton while he was still like he was never like constantly chomping at the bit to like cash in, and and I feel like kind of like how we discussed prior to, like on the preview show, Kevin Owens would have been perfect to have it because he's such a good mouthpiece and he's such a dick and he can just like hold that briefcase up and use it to his advantage. And Ambrose is kind of the same way. Like Ambrose holding that could have gotten more tread out of it, I guess, and
yeah,
but he cashed in that night and became the champ. And so that, I mean, I feel like they had so much invested in Reigns and also in Rollins to kind of just give the belt to Ambrose. I never expected that to happen. And I have been calling for Ambrose to be champ for a while now. But I didn't expect it to happen like that. Rollins winning, I was like, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Sure.
Right.
I love it. And I would have been perfectly happy with that. But I don't know, it was just a weird twist of events for me.
Yeah, I mean, when Rollins won, I was like, oh, man, that's cool. Now Dean and Seth can have a thing going on. And then I was like, oh, no, they're going to cash in tonight, and Seth's not going to be champion again.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it was like almost like too much birthday, you know?
Yeah, too much birthday. It's a good way to put it. But yeah, so because Roman lost, I think I just got a feeling that they were like, okay, we got to get the belt off him because news is going to break. He failed it, and then this is going to come to fruition at some point. So, but what boggles my mind is like the whole Monday night thing where they just
wrestled again.
They wrestled again, and they just like kind of went forward with it, which I mean doesn't surprise me. I mean, I'm not. If this was like, I don't even want. I was gonna say the NFL, but that's not like the best like comparison. I don't know.
I think they could hold any information for like a full 24 hours before having to release it. And if they found out on Sunday and changed the main event card, if they found out late, they would have until sometime Monday to let it go. To release the statement. So. Yeah, I mean, it's still, maybe it's 24 hours might not be enough. I mean, it might have to be 36 to 48 hours because you're a publicly traded company. I would think that you'd want your shareholders, maybe you don't want your shareholders to know that your champ is failing tests.
Yeah. Yep.
Right before pay-per-views.
Yeah. And the timing of that, the way that works out too is very fishy. Like how he's just going to squeeze in this 30-day suspension, but before the next pay-per-view happens. And it's like, why is it a 30-day suspension? Why isn't it more? Like Titus O'Neil got a 60-day suspension for like grabbing the boss. Like it doesn't like nothing seems to be very regulated. Right. And it's like they're, whatever, they're their own company. They can do whatever they want. They have these rules and regulations, but, it just seems like Vince McMahon, we all know Vince McMahon, like whatever he says goes, but it's just like, this guy gets 30 days, this guy gets 60 days, this guy gets fired. Like, it's just a shit show. Like, it's just madman stuff going on. Like, he's just a crazy person.
We need to find out we need to find a large shareholder in the company and see if we can convince him to influence some storylines. Be like, nah, I think I'm going to sell the stock because Roman Reigns, champion, not really feeling it. I think
no.
I'm going to tank.
Yeah.
I'll have to sell off my 13 million shares or something.
Yeah. Oh, man. I am almost, not happy that Roman is suspended. You never want to hear that, but like, I think it's good to give Roman a little break. I don't think that he gets the Seth Rollins treatment. Like when he comes back, I think the crowd boos him because it's a totally different situation. Boos him even more than they are booing him. But it's I like when WWE is almost proven wrong sometimes, and they're like, look, no, this isn't our guy. We don't want this guy, and they're like, nope, here's your guy, and then it's like, oh, here's our guy. Well, guess what? He just failed you. He failed your wellness policy. So sorry, we've been telling you all along we don't want this guy, and now you're forced to do something about it.
Yep. Just treat him like Sheamus from now on.
Just treat him like Sheamus. How's that? How does Sheamus get treated?
Well, Sheamus gets used like in maybe 2 storylines a year.
Oh yeah, I got you.
He's got one right now, but what was he doing before that? I can't remember.
League of Nations BS that meant nothing. Right. Yeah, Sheamus is like that guy that you can he's always a contender. Like it's always believable because of like his size and like his experience. Right. It's always believable that he can like be the champ, So he can always get thrusted into that spotlight. And I don't think Roman Reigns is going to go that route. I think that they'll keep him.
No, he's not going to be the next Zack Ryder.
No, I don't think so.
You're right. Zack Ryder is over his shit.
That's true. That is true. No, I think when Roman comes back, obviously he's in this 3-way Shield match, which is crazy that that's happening at Battleground. I feel like that's like a WrestleMania or like a SummerSlam match. You ever get the feeling that they just kind of like have the timing really off on a lot of these things and like that they kind of rush things in? Right? Like this, for example. Like this just seems crazy to have it at Battleground.
Yeah,
I
the timing does seem off because, like, if you go back to WrestleMania, you had Roadblock right before that, and you have a really great match between Triple H and Dean Ambrose, and then you had like an okay good match between Triple H and Roman Reigns. You know,
yeah, yeah.
like you might have blown your wad on that one. You know,
Yeah, no, totally. And that's kind of what I mean. And like this match will happen, and I don't know how good it'll be. I don't know if there'll be any stuff that we could label suspicious or like interference or anything like that. But if this match happens like legit, like, I mean, this is going to be a pretty, like, on paper, this is an awesome match. This is what we want to see. So why waste it at Battleground? Like, why? This match sells the shit out of SummerSlam. Like, this is why you buy SummerSlam. This is why people that don't have the network, I mean, which, face it, nowadays, like, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan and you're watching Raw every week, chances are you probably have the network. So you're probably getting that pay-per-view. But
or you're at least stealing it from somebody who does.
Exactly. But I mean, if you come SummerSlam and this is the marquee match, like, you're getting in the network that month, or you're buying it on pay-per-view or something, like, because that's a very sellable match, like, and a very, like, iconic match.
Speaking
too.
of SummerSlam, has anybody told Dustin that we're gonna have SummerSlam in his garage again?
I think he knows. Yeah, I think he definitely knows. Yeah. He's a few tweets, or not, a few texts have popped up mentioning this. So I'll get on him about that, because that's going to be awesome again. Yeah. But
so besides the Roman Reigns stuff, I mean, what else we really got going on for news without getting into a Raw highlight?
Not too much news. There's some rumors about the call-ups, about the NXT call-ups, but as far as news, it's been pretty lackluster. Yeah. But yeah, just yeah, I don't know. There's a rumor about the NXT call-ups. Yeah, what do you got? Bring it.
That we had our own Panda had a Mick Foley slide into her DMs.
Ooh, that is true. That is true. Bang, bang.
Heaping on some praise to our own little Panda, little Salt Lick.
Salt Lick Panda. Yeah, she wrote an awesome article, and Mick Foley read it and DM'd her like, hey, like, a good job, and then they struck up a conversation. So very cool. Mad props.
That's right.
To Panda. Yeah. Right on.
She's not the only good writer we have at Smart Mark. There's many of the guys write fantastic articles.
It's true.
I occasionally write something very mediocre. So
likewise. Yeah, no. Oh man, yeah. I believe recently there was like a Dominion review kind of thing that went up. Yep. That some of the guys wrote. So yeah, I mean, just it's all good at the old smartandmark.com. NXT call-ups. What do you got for NXT call-ups? Hey, you've heard this, right? You've heard this rumor. 12 people.
I hadn't heard the number. I had heard, that people were going to be called up, but
yeah, I heard 12 today.
12 is a big number.
I know. You gotta think it's not gonna be like the top 12. I mean, I can't imagine that it's like the top 12. Like Shinsuke is not going. I feel like Shinsuke is gonna probably be gonna maybe be like the next champ. I don't know. This is just speculation.
Right. So that probably takes Samoa Joe out.
I'm assuming Samoa Joe drops the belt to Shinsuke, and then Samoa Joe moves up to probably be on SmackDown or Raw, either way. But man, it's just such a high number. 12 is such a big number. Maybe American Alpha might join the tag division on SmackDown. Because you got to think, it's not only good for these superstars moving up, but you got to think of what they're leaving behind. Like, is the tag division going to be okay on NXT with these guys moving up? I think maybe,
Okay, so let's throw some names out. We got American Alpha. There's two guys. You got
Yep.
Chad Gable and Jason Jordan.
Yep.
Finn Balor.
I think Finn is on his way. Yep.
Okay.
And see, and that's the thing too. It's 12 people. What is the timing on this? You can't just go like, here's 12 people, go. You
Right.
know, Finn Balor's got to have an awesome debut. Samoa Joe probably has to have just as important debut, but maybe not as elaborate and theatrical. Obviously, his can be more of like a surprise, appearance or run in or something. But Finn has to be, when he debuts, he has to be the demon. He has to be. I can't imagine it anywhere else because the demon entrance is so cool.
What about Bobby Roode?
I don't know. I think they might keep Bobby Roode down for a little bit longer. He hasn't been there for too long. And I know that they really like to kind of baby guys up through the system.
Austin Aries.
Maybe. I know that he is a contender for the belt down there. So, but I can see him going up to SmackDown and like definitely competing for like, the U.S. Championship or the IC belt right off the bat. That would be very cool. Or just having like a feud, like a mid-level feud, with like Apollo Crews or somebody.
What about like a guy like who started like with Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, Hideo Itami?
Yeah, he's well, I don't think he's going up yet just because he's been injured for such a long time, and allegedly he's ready to come back. So I think that they bring him back under the NXT spotlight. And he's a guy that I think gets a crack at the championship too at some point. I don't know. I would like to see him come back as a heel. I really would, because I think Shinsuke's like so over right now as a face that if Itami comes back, as a heel, I think that would be really cool. And those two could go at it. And I think Itami's going to really spend some time in NXT. He almost like didn't get a good crack at it, his first time around, and because he just got hurt so soon. But I'm really excited to see him come back. This should be good. What about two dudes who like are kind of on the fringe, like about like the Johnny Gargano or the Tommaso Ciampa? Like they're not even like fully.
See, I don't think their contracts are set up that way.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that they're fully contracted with NXT. So, like,
would I love to see them on WWE? Of course.
Yeah,
I think those two guys are great. What about a guy? I mean, probably not, but Ty Dillinger. Do you think he's starting to? I mean, even though he's had some losses, is he starting to get some traction in NXT? They're really putting the perfect 10 gimmick to use?
I think Ty Dillinger is a no-brainer to go up to the main roster. That guy, and I don't think that his role will be any different than it is now. I think that he's the guy who will put on really good matches and he'll put over guys, and he knows his role. To quote The Rock, and he's so good, and they trust him, and he's a safe worker. And he can have a nice little career up on the main roster doing exactly what he's doing now. I don't think that he's going to go up to the main roster and go a different way. Like, I don't think he's going to go up and just keep getting wins and then like be the IC champ. I just don't think that that's his thing. Although I like it, and I know that you're a fan of his, and we would like nothing more for Ty Dillinger to like be a champion at some level. But
right.
I just don't think that's his thing. I think that he's the guy that puts people over, and I don't know his feelings on that. I'm not going to say that he's content with that, but I think that he's very good at his job. And I know that certain wrestlers pride themselves in that role, and I can see Ty Dillinger being that kind of guy. I don't know if he is. I'm just guessing, speculating, because he's so good at it. So, and being very well respected, as you've mentioned before, like Kevin Owens respects the hell out of him. Everybody in that locker room respects him, and they know like what he can do. So, I don't know. I think he's a no-brainer to go up. Absolutely, he's definitely on my list of 12 guys. So, what
about some guys that have been down in NXT for quite a while now, like Angelo Dawkins and
I don't know, man.
I mean, not Sawyer Fulton, guys that don't have names, but they can be used as enhancement talent on the main roster.
Yeah, I
Probably
mean, maybe.
not going to be drafted because I'm looking at the male roster right now and on whatever they've got on Wikipedia, and there's not a lot there.
No.
What about like a Blake or Buddy Murphy?
Maybe. They've got. It's funny. It's hard. It's hard to tell.
I think there are actually more women ready to go up than men.
Really.
Yeah, like from the women's side, I mean, you could have Bailey. I think needs to come up. I think you could have Eva Marie come back up, if only for her to get her ass in a tour and make her realize that she does not belong around. You've got maybe Nikki Storm, not gonna go right to the main roster. Maybe. I mean, you got like Nia Jax, I guess, could go.
I think that would be okay.
The belt, but maybe Carmella comes up. Maybe she's gonna skip the NXT Championship route and get into the women's title scene.
Yeah, I think that's a better fit.
Bring her back with her boys.
I think that's a much better fit for her. I think she comes up, joins Enzo and Cass, and then, has some women's matches. Kind of gets in the mix.
I like Carmella. I like Carmella's matches. They're pretty entertaining, and she's got a pretty slick little finisher now, a little submission move.
Yeah, I like it. She's really good.
I mean, she could come up and she could wrestle, at least as often as Summer Rae does.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think she's more entertaining than Summer Rae. I think she's I think she's a better she fits that new era much better than some of the gals that have kind of, been around. Like, she can just come up and she's part of the new era. And like some of the other gals haven't quite adapted. I mean, like Alicia Fox, she's been around forever. She's an okay worker, but she's not gonna be a champ anytime soon. Probably never again in her career. So, Summer Rae, I think is a pretty good valet, but not the best wrestler. It's funny. I don't think that these girls and these guys particularly need to come up and like adapt to the new roster or to the main roster. I think what's going to happen is you're going to get like this surge of superstars to come up, and it's going to be just what it is. Like now, like you're basically going to see NXT on SmackDown, or you're going to see NXT on Raw. You're gonna get those types of matches. So I don't think it's necessarily the superstar that has to adapt to the situation or the surroundings. I think that has to adapt to the superstars pretty much.
But now, like a female wrestler like Alexa Bliss, I mean, she could probably go to the main roster, but I see her kind of maybe winning the NXT Women's title from Asuka eventually, and she'd be a good long time champion, I think, because you could have some of these younger girls, working babyface to topple her over,
Yeah. Yeah, she's a good heel. She's a really good heel.
You got Billie Kay, you got Peyton Royce, you got Aaliyah is supposed to be coming up. Ember Moon, who's
she's really good. Holy moly. Yeah.
Peyton Royce. I mean, there's some girls down there. Sarah Lee's been down there for a year now from Tough Enough.
Yeah. Who else? There's you get the kind of like the non-fully contracted gals too. You got like Ellering's daughter, Blanchard's daughter. Like you got like all these kind of like second generation gals coming down the pipe. So, if they sign some of these gals and guys on full time, like going back to the Garganos and the Ciampas, like if they want to sign them on full time, I'm sure that those guys would want to like have a full gig on SmackDown. But I don't know. Again, just speculating. I don't know. Maybe they like their dates that they can go do indie shows and stuff. So it's all preference. But yeah, this draft is definitely going to shake some things up. That number again though, 12. It's just so much. Like it's like it feels like you take 12 people off of NXT. It's like, what do you leave NXT with?
Yeah, it's just gonna be N and T because you're gonna rip out its heart.
Nice. Well played. What about No Way Jose, huh? Bring him up. Put him with Fandango.
No.
I'm just
Listen,
kidding.
I just got Breezango where I want them. I don't want anybody messing this up.
Yeah, those guys are great. Those guys are real good. What about Mojo? Mojo's been in NXT for a while.
You know what? I think
Mojo?
You could bring Mojo up. You could bring Mojo up and
Ryder.
keep
them together. Yeah.
I feel bad for Ryder to have to be with Mojo. I mean, he just seems like the most annoying man in the world to hang out with.
Yeah, totally. He looks fun. Well, Gronk's a party animal too, so
yeah. Gronk's probably an annoying prick too.
Oh, I can't imagine that. Yeah, these guys come up, but I think it opens up some doors for some other guys. Hugo Knox, maybe get some TV time. Elias Sampson can come back from injury and be something on there. What about the Revival? What do you think about those guys? You think they're staying or going?
I think they're staying, unless they lose to like the Authors of Pain or something. But they would be awesome on the main roster. I think, if they were really serious about building a tag division.
Well, that's the other question too. It's like, how serious are you about enhancing these divisions? Like, are you going to bring up these tag teams and have it be good, or are you going to have or invest time in it, in actual segments on Raw or SmackDown, and not just have like a 45-minute John Cena like segment, and like break that up and actually give some tag teams some good matches? Or are you not? Because like, if that's the case, I would much rather just have some of these guys just stay on NXT, because I love NXT and I love the way it's shot. I love the way it's produced. I love the way it's written. So don't take that away unless unless you get a plan.
I like the way they use people that are not under a complete contract. They'll use like Rich Swann. They're using some guys that you haven't seen before. Like I like the fact that Oney Lorcan got a win over Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Again, going back to Ty Dillinger losing all the time. But
we got some females too that we haven't seen wrestle yet. Like we got, Daria Bernadetto. She was from Tough Enough.
Yeah. Was she like the MMA fighter?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even watch Tough Enough, and it's weird that I know that.
Mandy Rose. She's on NXT. I mean, she's on Total Divas. Maybe they'll want to bring her right up to the main roster. I don't know.
Who's the blonde girl, like the blonde girl from like New Jersey that's had a couple matches on NXT? Because she's not bad. I can't think of her name, but
Liv Morgan.
Maybe that might be her, but she's been pretty good. She wears
like a cut off jersey.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's Liv Morgan. She's finally on NXT, but I think she'll be there for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not talking about moving her up. I'm just talking about like with people moving up. Like this will give people time to shine on NXT. So, and I think NXT will take, maybe a little bit. It'll go back to being developmental. After this brand split.
Right.
It has to, because that's what it is. That's what these guys haven't been in the business for very long, or at least a majority of them, once 12 people leave. So, I don't know. Interesting to see what it's going to be. We'll have to wait and find out on, when is it? 18th? July 18th?
I thought it was going to be on the 11th, but they moved it up to maybe it's the 19th. It's the first episode of SmackDown is going to start the draft.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be cool. So, and I don't expect these guys to be drafted, and like them do like a whole draft. I think the drafts are fun, but they literally only draft like, I don't know, maybe 10 people, or 5 people like on each side, and then you just kind of like find it out later, like who's on which brand. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's fun.
Well, it's like the NFL draft. You sit around all day, watch the first round, and then you just check Twitter for the other rounds.
Right? Yeah, I got stuff to do. So
I mean, it'd be cool if they turned, if they started the draft on that show in the first hour, and then after the second hour went on the WWE Network to continue the draft, with live draft coverage from, Corey Graves and Renee Young, or something.
It's an amazing idea. It's an amazing idea. Like, why don't they do that? Because the NFL draft is super popular. Why not just model it after that, and just do that?
Exactly like that. No tumbler of balls and relay races to figure out who's going to be GM and, just ridiculous shit.
Yeah. We're going to do a draft soon. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out.
I talked to the Panda today. I said, you're on, Team Northeast.
Yeah. Team Northeast.
Versus Team Texan. So.
Yeah. Team Texas.
Texas.
Oh, man. That should be good. We're going to put that together, though. We're going to finalize that, and we'll do it before the draft. Let's see. All right. You guys want to cover some Raw highlights here? Get this.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So I caught this on Hulu. So obviously I didn't get shown everything, and that's probably a good thing. It's a blessing and a curse because I don't really feel like watching 3 hours.
Sometimes they will cut a gem of a promo out, but
yeah. I didn't see any Enzo and Cass. I heard about it. I heard it was good, but I didn't see it because it
was short and it made Cass look like an absolute monster.
Yeah, nice. Yep. Cool. So what I saw here, I saw Seth Rollins totally addressing Roman Reigns' suspension. I was wondering how they were going to handle this, his suspension. I wonder if they were just going to be hush-hush about it, or fake an injury, or try and keep the story kayfabe. I had no idea, but they came right out with it. Seth Rollins just calls him out on it, and they show the Twitter or the tweet that Roman Reigns, his apology, and they're just not being very bashful with it at all. They are just letting it all hang out. Yep. So I thought it was cool. I liked it. I believe you texted me either that night or the night after something saying something along the lines of I keep forgetting how awesome Seth Rollins is, or it's just, he's so good. I think he is the best performer in the company all around that they have right now. He's really good on the mic. He's amazing in the ring. He's got a good look. He's been the champ. He's got it all together.
Hands down MVP of the company.
Yeah, for sure. And not to take away from your boy KO or anything, but I just think that Seth Rollins, he's got the championship to kind of back him up on it. So, which I do think KO gets in the near future at some point, if Vince doesn't continue his fat people hate. So, no, he's the worst. Oh man. So this whole segment kind of turns into a weird cluster it gets very long, by the way. I loved Seth's part of it, but then Cena and AJ get involved, and
Dean came out
Dean
first.
Comes out, and it's just these opening segments take forever. And so I understand why we constantly say oh, why is it that Raw has 3 hours and they can't give us a decent story, but NXT has an hour every week, and and it's so awesome. It's this is why. It's because they don't have 45-minute segments of John Cena talking.
We don't have to watch one more Cialis commercial.
Oh, I know. It's so bad. So anyway, Cena wants in, AJ wants in to the match at Battleground to make it a 5-way match. Seth doesn't want any part of that. Dean is yeah, I'll take it. I don't care. I'll fight anybody. So Dean's
a nut.
Because how many times does JBL have to say, "Oh, we got a lunatic as a champion"? We get it.
Every time.
That's his name. We get it. That's his moniker, the Lunatic Fringe. We understand, JBL. You don't need to say it every single time. It's the worst. I hate that JBL. But anyway, I digress. Cena.
I digress.
So the deal is Steph comes out. She says Cena has to fight Seth Rollins tonight. If Cena wins, he can be in the match. If not, you're out. AJ has to fight Dean. Same deal. If he wins, he's in the match at Battleground. Well, none of that happens. So none of it happens. Cena ends up losing to Rollins because AJ and the club come out and distract him. And AJ ends up losing to Dean because kind of like the same deal, right? Club comes out, then Cena comes out, and it's just a big distraction, and Dean ends up winning. So none of that happens. It's still a Shield triple threat match at Battleground with absolutely zero sign of Roman Reigns for the build-up.
Correct.
In person. So, the weirdest thing ever. The weirdest thing. So, how do you feel about that? Anyway, how do you feel about? I mean, I know we already talked about Roman just not being around because he's suspended, but how do you feel about? I've never seen like a build. Actually, you know what? I have Undertaker, but I was gonna say I've never seen a build to a match without the person actually being there. But Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, remember WrestleMania?
Right.
Bray Wyatt like carried the build to that.
The promos. He did all the vignettes.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, Roman
then he
just
lasted 1 minute and 65 seconds.
The worst. God, so bad. But anyway, yeah, Roman is just unable to be there. Because he's suspended. So it's just the weirdest thing. He's just gonna show up at Battleground. So but Ambrose and Rollins are so good that they're gonna sell the shit out of this match, and it's gonna be awesome. So, you know who I am loving right now on Raw is Kane. I think Kane is so money right now. And not in the ring. He had a terrible match with The Miz. Kane probably should not wrestle anymore. He's slow. He is just like, he looks winded. Nothing looks believable. Even like his punches are just like super slow-mo. He can't keep it together. The timing was very off between Kane and Miz. They weren't like screwing up or anything, but it was just like, it looked very slow and very much like, come on, like, let's go get wrestling, guys. And those are two veterans that, they know what they're doing in there. And they've been in the ring plenty of times together. It's just that I think Kane's his skills are just digressing, like just so bad and fast. So, but outside of the ring, Kane is amazing. Like as the director of operations, or whatever, like that kind of gimmick that he has is so good. He pointed out to Stephanie the fact that The Miz has not competed. It's almost been 30 days since The Miz has competed because The Miz has been off shooting the Marine 5, which The Miz claims to be the next blockbuster. Highly unlikely, but
yeah.
The Marine 5.
Did you read the story about kind of like in 2014 they were going to bring back Batista, but they didn't know how Guardians of the Galaxy was going to do. They thought it was going to suck, and it brought in like $744 million fucking dollars.
Yeah. Oh, they're the worst. WWE is the worst when it comes to like
total gross
anything outside of
every
wrestling.
WWE movie is like $19 million.
Oh, they're so bad. They're so bad.
Every one of them.
Yeah. Kane brought up Countdown, which I thought was funny because we recently reviewed Countdown. He's like, yeah, I know when I was in Countdown, he's like, he's talking about acting to The Miz, and The Miz got super offended. So Stephanie is like, hey, that's true, Kane. Miz, you have to compete tonight or else, you got to give up the belt. And
I wish this rule was put into effect more often.
Yeah, because it definitely isn't. Like, I think, like we were all saying that when Triple H won the Rumble, then he was the champ, then he never competed. But I think the Ambrose match counted. I think that was within 30 days, maybe. But because it was getting close, and we're all like, "Hey, he's gonna give up the belt, right?" Yeah, it's funny, man. WWE just, if they don't bring it up, they forget it. So they don't know what's going on. So half the time. But anyway, so Miz versus Kane. Kane looks terrible. Maurice is on the apron, and
she not look terrible. She looks fantastic.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% astute on your part. she like twists her ankle or something and falls off the apron, which I totally believed. I thought that was.
I did. I believed it.
I totally thought that was real. She sold that so well. I was like, oh. It's like, I thought it was like I thought we were gonna see that on like Botchmania or something next week, because that's just like, it looked so real. She starts bawling her eyes out, crying. Like the Miz, and to the Miz's credit, it was his acting too that made it believable, because he like didn't rush right over there to get her. I was just like, he's kind of like checking on her, but not really. He's trying to finish the match, and then he like went over and ends up like picking her up, carries her to the back, and she reveals that she did not twist her ankle. It was all an act, and to get him out of the match. So it was a fun little segment.
He tells her, "You should win an Oscar." She's like,
Oscar.
It's an Emmy. We're on TV.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, Miz. What an idiot. But I hope that this thing between him and Kane doesn't continue, because I'm all set with seeing Demon Kane wrestle anymore. And I love Kane. He's probably one of my favorite superstars of all time, because he's just been around forever. But
he's one of my favorite superstars, from 1997.
Exactly. So he should probably hang it up and just do outside the ring stuff, because he's really good at the outside the ring stuff. He's super funny. But anyway, I don't know where that leaves the Miz and the IC belt. I mean, and that's another thing. Like, is Kane going to become the Intercontinental Champion? Come on,
right?
That's ridiculous. So let's see, New Day and Wyatt. So they get a thing going on.
And I'm finding it more interesting than it has a reason to be. Yeah, with Xavier Woods being kind of hypnotized with Bray's charisma or scared of him, whatever it is, and with them dressing up as the Wyatts on Monday night, kind of getting ready to feel the wrath, I think, for that. We'll see, but and I love Woods' reactions right now to when Bray talks.
Yeah,
he gets all quiet and nervous looking, and
yep. And it's funny. I didn't know if he was just kind of trying to pull that off, or if he was like, if it was going to be like a big swerve at the end. But I'm totally digging this feud right now. I wish that it wasn't as playful, like kind of from New Day. I mean, I know that that's their gimmick, that's their shtick, that they like to just goof around and stuff. But I feel like sometimes it makes the Wyatts like the butt of the joke, when the Wyatts should be nothing but that, anything but that. Like, they're, if booked correctly, they should not be made fun of, because they're pretty badass, and it just doesn't fit with me. But Bray always seems to turn it around. I loved his promo. God, the guy is so good. He is so good. Like how he just like twisted the whole power of positivity bullshit that the New Day comes out with, like, and he just turned it into a Bray Wyatt promo, and it was just so good. Like, he's amazing. He's probably my favorite guy on the mic in recent years, just because I've always loved like that kind of like that dark side of wrestling, like Undertaker, Kane. I've always loved that, and Bray just fits right in that mold, and he's so good at talking. And I'm digging this feud. I think this is gonna be a good feud. I think that I have no idea when Luke Harper's coming back. I know he like broke his leg, so it'll probably be a while. But I think if this lasts for a long time, this feud, I think that New Day might drop the belts to the Wyatts. I think this could be the team to take it if WWE puts any kind of faith into the Wyatts, which they haven't shown, unfortunately. But we'll see. I think that they're a viable team to do it, to take the belts off of New Day. So, a hell of a lot more believable than primetime players. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. How about Becky Lynch? She comes out for her match on Raw, and she's got her whole getup on. Well, she notices Natalya on commentary, so she takes off her jacket, doesn't even look at her opponent. I think it was Summer Rae, blows right past her, and just beats the snot out of Natty. It was awesome.
I love it. Like, that's so different.
Straight fire.
So different. Like, that's the best. I love when they do stuff like that because what they usually do is business as usual. They lock up, they wrestle, right. Natalya gets involved, and it's all the same bullshit that we've always seen. That you don't see that often. You don't see to steal a line from John Cena and Kurt Angle. You don't see that ruthless aggression anymore. And that was awesome. That was ruthless aggression from Becky Lynch. And she's so good, man. Like, yeah, I know that this brand split is coming, so we can't really complain that much right now, but it's just hopefully that this gives all these really talented people that we love so much the stage. Like Becky Lynch is someone who should be competing for the belt or just being champ or just even having really good feuds. And I think she's in one right now with Natty. It's the beginning stages of it. But I think that this brand split will be a good platform for people like that who haven't really had the time to shine on Raw because of, like we mentioned earlier, 45-minute promos from the main event tier. But anyway, I love Becky Lynch. I think she's so good. And hopefully wherever she goes, if she's on Raw or SmackDown, she is going to be at the top. So she's great.
Yeah, hopefully. Chances are she's going to have at least one or two good wrestling girls with her, on the same roster. How about the highlight rail hosted by Chris Jericho? We've got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens, I thought, busted out, a really good spot saying, he's the better friend.
Yeah.
And
I believed it. And I'm like,
I did too.
Oh, I thought it was great. It
made mark for him, but yeah.
Sure. But it made sense. It all added up. It when you actually think about it and you think about it as the way Kevin Owens said, it totally makes sense, and it totally seems that way. I love it. I thought it was a great segment. Jericho is firing on all cylinders right now. The guy is so entertaining. Right now, he's so good. Everything he does right now is so classic, like heel Jericho, that he's just a thorn in everybody's side. He's super annoying. It's just great heel work from Jericho. And
drink it in, man.
Yeah. He's so creepy. So good. The double kick from
Sammy does a Saluba kick and KO hits a mint sweet chin music.
Yep.
It just
on Jericho
there in the ring.
Oh man, it was so good. I got really excited because I was like, are they gonna at least acknowledge that they work together once? Are they gonna give each other a little smile or a little something? But they didn't. They just kind of stared at each other. But I was like, oh man, can you imagine? The roof will blow off the building when the day comes that they unite again. You know what I mean? When they kind of put their differences aside, and it doesn't mean that they have to put their differences aside for good. It can be in between, because we've mentioned before on the show, that's a feud that will go on forever because there's so much invested in it and there's so much backstory to it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But when they put their differences aside, even if it's for one night, and they work together as a team, the roof will blow off. It'll be so awesome. When I saw them just double kick Chris Jericho, I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. This is so good. They're working together. It's as cliche as it sounds, like, because it's always kind of compared to his, it's like, it would be like if Batman and the Joker like worked together to take down like another villain or something. It was just like, it's just, that's how it is. That's the feeling that I get when I see these two guys work together. So, what else? So they're just going to have a match though. They're going to have a match at Battleground. Maybe it's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Maybe they're just going to,
it's to settle it once and for all.
To settle it once and for all before they split to different brands, we're assuming.
Right.
So, I don't know. Does Jericho get involved in this? Like, was that just like his one spot?
I don't know, because he was mentioning, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be I can't remember what he said, but he's like, it's not going to be as special as the match I'm in, which nobody knows what that is. So
right. Yeah, I think he kind of. It's tough to say. I think that this could either be like a one-off spot for Chris Jericho, and he takes it on the chin, literally, and then moves on to something else next week, or he kind of meddles in their feud, and maybe he plays like the antagonist in some weird way, like in between them, and like kind of just, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see that role, or Jericho in that role, because I think he would be very good at it, like kind of playing both sides, and trying to get them to hate on each other even more, but then also in return direct all that hate onto him, because he is the ultimate heel. So, yeah. Okay. Anyway, what else? Anything else on Raw? I think that's it on Raw, right?
Yeah. I mean, just to go back over, I mean, like, I'm interested to see what they do with the IC title, where they're going to go with that. I really like the New Day Wyatt stuff. Yeah. I think this is kind of showing power of the Wyatts better than stealing Kane's soul, and
that they never addressed after that. Yeah.
This shows that they're powerful. Just that they're the way they talk and stuff. Like Woods looks like he doesn't look like he wants to go join them, but he looks scared. He looks nervous. I like that.
Well, it's what they should be doing. It's what the Wyatt should be doing. They're a cult. They should be recruiting people, right. And that's their gig. But they haven't done that in like the last year. So I like that they're kind of getting back to that.
They don't treat it like a cult enough.
Yeah.
The women's title picture. It's. I mean, you had Sasha Banks and Paige team up against Charlotte and Dana Brooke.
Oh yeah.
It was a good little tag match. It was, but nothing special. But it's getting Sasha back out there, and she's looked strong since she came back to TV.
Sure.
Paige has looked pretty strong since she came back to TV too. She was off for quite a while. Nobody really knows why. She was doing Superstars and stuff like that, but she was kind of off main TV for a while.
Yeah, Paige is looking really good lately. She's putting in some really good matches, some good work from her. And Dana Brooke, I don't know, man. I like Dana, but I think maybe it might have been too early to call her up. She looks a little awkward out there. She looks. You could tell, like, if you were to just watch that match, like if you didn't know anything about wrestling, you'd be like, okay, she's a step behind everybody else.
Yeah, she looks like she's regressed. Like when she was towards the end of her NXT run, she was looking very good.
Yeah,
she had a great match with Asuka. She was getting pretty good. She didn't look nervous. She wasn't a step behind. She's a little awkward on the mat, I think, with the way she gets up and stuff. It's not pretty. Like she doesn't.
Yeah.
She moves slower than I thought she would when she gets up, but
she's smaller than I thought she was. Like I didn't realize she was that. I mean, that's short at least. Yeah. I mean, she's jacked. I mean, she's a former, whatever fitness model and stuff, but she just like, she's really short. Like her head barely goes over the top rope. I was like, oh boy, it definitely enhances it on like the big stage. Like the hard cam really shows it.
Maybe it's just advancement jitters. She's got to get her legs under. Maybe things move a little faster on the main roster. It's like going from college to the pros. It's going to take her time to acclimate to it.
Oh yeah, I don't think that she's bad, and I
Because
think she'll be
as
fine.
a for women, like her shit talking in the ring and any kind of vignette and promo work she does is spot on. She's a heel that you're not supposed to like.
Yeah,
She's supposed to be a dastardly bully. She's tough. She's a tough girl. And I think it kind of plays off Charlotte. Charlotte's a very athletic girl, tough, but not tough enough to win championships on her own.
yeah.
So you
Well,
got
at
a
least
little,
not right now.
yeah.
But things could change. But she's yeah. I think it'll be a great match between Sasha and Charlotte. I think it's gonna happen eventually. Sasha's got to get that belt because I think that's what the fans want. And I think kind of similar to Dean Ambrose, it's like WWE doesn't want to miss the boat with it. They can put it off for so long,
Right.
and the chase is fun, but eventually they got to cash this in. No pun intended. There, ooh, that like I just did that.
Yeah.
Cash in, money in the bank. No, all right, buddy. Well, let's get into some plugs and wrap this bad boy up. What do you say?
I'm game.
You are game. All right, guys.
I'm not the game. He's got a bigger nose than I do.
much bigger nose. Yeah.
He's got a few more Benjamins in his pocket. Anything.
Just a little bit.
Anything more than one, he's got more Benjamin in his pocket than me. So.
Yeah. The cerebral assassin over there. So anyway, plugs. Let's get into plugs. Hey guys, you guys can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Podbean, anywhere you get your podcast. Just search ISR2M. You'll find us. To us when you're driving to work. Listen to us when you're on the treadmill. Listen to us when you're, I don't know, trying to fall asleep at night. We've got soothing voices. It's nice.
Listen
it's nice.
To the dulcet tones of Big Bad Harmon.
That's very good. Oh, that was
quiet storm.
Ooh, I'm gonna fall asleep right now with that voice. Goodness gracious!
Somebody get me a whiskey
and a fire. Oh man! All right. So you guys can check us out on Twitter at ISR2M Podcast. Check me out on Twitter at Jonny Fashion. Big Bad Harmon, where you at on the tweet machine?
I am at Harmon316.
You are killing it on Twitter.
The hell out of everybody. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
You've been. Yeah, you are money on there right now.
What I get? I got Dana Brooke last week. I got Tyler Breeze, Kevin Owens. I got the Young Bucks the other day.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, man. Kevin Owens and Tyler Breeze now follow you. You are just killing it on Twitter.
That is amazing. Correct. I mean, I don't want to humble brag, but yeah.
Nice. You're a god among men right now when it comes to Twitter. So very jealous over here. Jealous man. So you can also and always catch us on smarkandmark.com. Go there for all your pro wrestling needs. We've got podcasts, columns, videos, what else? All kinds of fun stuff. Music, mashups from Justin, just all kinds of cool stuff on the site. Again,
you know what I like that Justin did? He put the player directly on the homepage for the podcast. Because before, with my work Net Nanny, I couldn't go to the podcast, but I can push play and it works. So nice work around Justin.
Yeah, sneaking around the system. Yep. And you can check out Smark and Mark on Twitter at @SmarkandMark_PW. Go there. You'll get all of our updates, all of our podcasts, all the columns. They just get, they're on like a cycle. They just get posted. So you're never going to miss it. If you're on Twitter, you're bound to catch it throughout the day that they're launched. So, all right, I think that's about it. How you feeling, man? You feeling good?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I'm beat, but yeah.
You are beat.
I am beat.
All right, brother. Well, hey, thanks for joining me, and thanks for Thanks for podcasting with me, Big Bad Harmon. It feels so good to be back.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to do it again, brother.
Back. Did you bring me anything?
I didn't. We already spoke about this. No, I didn't. I'm so sorry.
No, but I wanted to get it on record so that everybody knows you're a cheap prick.
I am a cheap prick. Sorry. I'm sorry that Hogan's Beat Shop does not carry what size is it? Like an XL, double XL? Triple XL? What is that? 4XL?
Yeah.
4XL? My God, you are a beast.
I am all that is man.
Yeah. My wife did ask though. She said, what size is Harmon? Is he a XL? And I was like, stop it.
God bless her tiny little heart.
Oh man. I was like, no, that shirt's not gonna fit him. Sorry. But anyway. All right, man.
That shirt fit me in 4th grade.
4th grade. Oh, unbelievable.
Maybe 5th.
Oh, you're the best. All right. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the show. Again, check us out at all those plugs. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all.
Yes, and stay tuned for the upcoming Smark and Mark brand split draft.
Ooh, the draft.
What you gonna do, brother?
Ooh, little Hulkster. Nice. Can't wait. All right, brother. Peace out, y'all.